My name is Stephanie Garvin, and I'm 35 years old. I have known Falon now for, I'd say 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. She was one of the first people I met when I moved to Atlanta. So she knows me. She knows the unmarried me. She knows the single. She knows every aspect. But I remember when I first found out that she was dating someone seriously. And I remember seeing pictures on Facebook and looking at them and thinking, wow, they look so happy. Wow, he seems like such a nice guy. I hadn't met him. And so it had been a while since we saw each other. I reached out to her and I said, maybe we should get together, do lunch. So we met up and we had lunch. I think it was around October. She was engaged at this point. So it was just a chance for us to get together, catch up, just share some stories and, just bring each other up to speed on our lives. At the time, I was in a long distance relationship, which I thought was great. Why? Because I found someone that I thought I could spend the rest of my life with. It was a long distance relationship, so we know that at times those can be manufactured, I guess you could say. But I was in a position where I was happy. And I remember telling her about him, and I told her that, hey, I'm happy, but I'm not over the moon. And when I began to explain my situation to her, I shared with her that 70% of the time our relationship was awesome. The other 30% of the time was eh. And I was okay with that. And she asked me why I was okay, why was I settling? And all I kept thinking the whole time we were eating was, ugh, you found the one good guy in Atlanta, and now you're trying to sell everybody on finding their perfect match. And so I just wanted to stress to her that everyone's not going to have this perfect, blissful situation. I mean, yes, she found Nikki found her, and they were doing great, but that's not for everyone. And she continued to tell me that I was crazy for settling, and that I was worth more, and that I needed to value myself. And once I got to that point, I'd realized that this was not the relationship for me. So I continued in the relationship through the end of the year, and I broke up with him. And I remember it like it was yesterday, Super Bowl weekend, or Super Bowl Sunday, 2013. I started to have withdrawals. So I reached out to my ex, I called him, and I'm like, let's try this again. Let's get back together. Let's try this again. And I'll speed it up. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. But I reached out to him, and he told me no. He said, no, you broke things off. I'm done. It's over. And I cried like a baby. I cried. That Super Bowl Sunday, my Super Bowl Sunday was ruined. I cried all night. And on my way to work that following Monday, I remember having a conversation with God, and I said, God, why? Why would I settle? Everything Falon had said started to replay over and over again in my head. Because she was the only one telling me not to settle. Everyone else was like, hey, if he's good 70% of the time, hey, it's better than most, So it played over and over in my head, and I cried the whole way to work. And I said, God, I will never call anyone and beg him to be with me. I will never subject myself to less than the best. If it takes 20 years to find my perfect match, then I'll wait 20 years. And I'm talking to God, and I'm laughing, and we're going back and forth. And and I'm just, it was so funny to me that just a few hours before I was crying my eyes out, begging this guy to be with me. So that was Monday. That Thursday, a man walked into the bank. I was heading to lunch. He walked in the bank. He needed help. I was working at the bank at the time. And so I said, okay, I'll help you. And my goal was to make it as quick as possible because I was heading to lunch. And I helped him with his account. And I'm like, this guy's kind of cute. But I had just had this conversation with God where I said, I'm not going to pursue anyone. When it's for me, it's for me. He'll find me, and I'll know, and he'll wave his flag, and there won't be any confusion. It'll be him, and I'll know. So I'm sitting there like, this guy's really attractive. And I'm helping him, and he calls me beautiful. And I'm like, okay, this might be something. And he left. So he did his transaction, and he left. And I'm like, who does that? Who comes in the bank? Who tells me I'm beautiful and doesn't ask for my phone number, just you're beautiful, and leaves? Well, that was, again, the Thursday after Super Bowl. That following Friday, I'm in a meeting at work. It's 8:30 in the morning, and FedEx shows up to my job with a dozen roses. And I'm like, those can't be for me. You know, I have no one. I'm as single as can be. And they're from him. And the note attached said, "My name is Rodney. I found you to be very intriguing. Hopefully, if you can, you'll give me a call," or something like that. And I called him, and I tell you, it has been perfect from there. Again, that was the Friday after Super Bowl. We dated slowly. And what I mean by that is he worked nights, I worked days. So it was kind of hard for us to connect. We talked a lot. But when we'd have to meet up after work, hang out, date, he'd go to work at night, work overnight. So our time was very limited in the beginning, but I found myself wanting to be with him every second of every day, and I had never felt like it before. And the feeling was mutual. He was the first person I had dated that I could say ever, that just treated me like I was his everything. I mean, there was no competition, there was no type of vengeful spirit. There was never any payback. We weren't arguing. We can honestly say that we did not fight. We did not argue. We could talk anything out. Everything, every moment spent together was just, it was surreal. And that was February 2013. We got engaged that Christmas. We got married that following August. We've been married now for 2.5 years. We just had a baby 3 months ago, Sky. And I can honestly say I'm happy, and I know that he was sent from God.